this love pain. Anybody got a pill I could pop for this love pain? Anybody got a prayer I could say for this love pain? Yeah. Ooh, I need it for this love pain. Anybody got a prescription? Yeah, for this love pain. Anybody got a pill I could pop for this love pain? Anybody got a prayer I could say for this love pain? Yeah.
Ooh, you caught me drinking water. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in the world. This is Vivian, and today on Successful Mind Power Hour, even though it's not going to be an hour, we're going to kind of talk about listening. So before I get to that, however, we got to sing the morning song. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, good morning to you. Yes, so good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you happen to be in the world, and welcome to the Successful Mind Power Hour. And if you're coming in and you want to chat with me, then make sure you give StreamYard permission to see your chats. If you've done it before, you don't have to do it again. But hey, Ruby, how you doing? So if you don't mind, please like and share. I'm trying to get these things out of there. Good morning, Tiffany. So I'm trying to get my videos out there so that anybody that needs to hear it can hear it. Okay, so we're going to talk about listening. I learned a really big lesson the other night. And although I might have known this previously, you kind of forget sometimes when you're in the mode of you're hurrying, or you're in a hurry and you want to talk to as many people as you can. So instead of listening, your brain is trying to think of the next thing you need to say, or the next thing you think you need to say. Because not all the time do you absolutely need to say anything. Say, for instance, you have a friend and they need to talk to you, but they don't really need you to say anything. They just need a shoulder to cry on, or a shoulder to listen, or ear to listen to them. No opinions, no nothing. They just need you to listen. And sometimes that's all they need. And you have to be aware of what they need and sit there and listen to what they're saying. Now, if they ask at some point for your opinion, or can you help me, or something like that, then you can kind of go in with more information. Because if you're not really listening, you don't really know what they need or what they want. So the L stands for listen, and let the other person talk. Just let them talk. Let them say what they got to say, because sometimes you can hear a lot of stuff in just their rambling that you may not have heard before, or that you may not know about that person. And that way you know exactly how to help them if they need your help. The I. And if I look down, I'm looking at my notes. And I got this lesson from Sam Bean, who is my diamond leader in my company. And he gives his Millionaire mindset calls every Monday night. And so much good information that, it's just mind blowing. So the I, involve yourself by responding. So in other words, verify what you heard them say. Well, so I heard you say blah, 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 right? And be interested, not interesting. So in other words, you don't have to say, oh yeah, I did that too. Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, it's not about you at that point. What you're doing is making sure that you involve yourself in the conversation, but you're interested in what they have to say, not so much trying to make yourself interesting. And don't complete people's sentences. It's rude. It's not cute. Uh, it can be very rude. Now, if you're talking and because I had somebody do that to me, and I'm talking and they're saying stuff as I'm saying stuff, and it's like, did you know what I was gonna say? What happened? So don't complete somebody's sentence. It's really very rude because that may not be what they were trying to say. And be inviting and open during that whole conversation. That way they know that you're actually engaged in what they have to say. Stay on target. That's the S. Stay on target, stay focused, don't get distracted. It's very easy to get distracted these days, especially like if you're sitting at a restaurant and you're talking to your friend or your family member or whatever. Then all of a sudden you look over and your phone lights up. Don't get distracted. Don't let that distraction take you away from that conversation that you're having, because at that point you're not listening anymore. Your brain is trying to go two ways and you're not going to get there. It's not going to happen because you just can't. You have to focus on what they're saying to be fully engaged in that conversation. And tune those thoughts in your head out. Sometimes, when you're talking to somebody, especially say if it's about business or something, you're trying to think of the next thing that you're going to say. Oh, what can I say to that? Oh, I don't know. What if they say this? And those conversations are going on in your head while they're talking, and you can miss a whole bunch of stuff. So tune yourself out. Quiet those voices in your head. Don't worry about what you're going to say next, because especially if you're talking about your business, your products and services, you should already know about your products and services and how they can help someone. So don't keep that conversation going in the back of your head while you're listening to the person that's talking to you. The T, test your understanding. So when they pause, you want to pause for a good amount of time, at least 3 to 4 seconds before you say anything, just in case they're just pausing to catch their breath or something. But if they pause, you can interject and say, okay, if I understand you correctly, this is what you said, or this is what you meant. So, test for understanding. Test to make sure that you understand exactly what they said and what they meant. Because sometimes somebody could say something and they meant something else. And if you misunderstand, that conversation could go way sideways, right? So the E, evaluate and process the data. Okay, so now they've had that conversation, you've let them talk, you've tested yourself for understanding. Then you're going to evaluate the data that they've given you. Now, sometimes, say if you're on the phone or you're on a Zoom call or something, you might be taking notes while they're talking. But don't get distracted doing that. But kind of take notes sometimes, because with me, I tend to forget stuff. I might forget 1 or 2 pieces of the conversation. So I'm taking notes. I'm scribbling, not necessarily not scribbling like drawing or anything, but I'm writing stuff down so that I can understand what they said and then go back to it later if need be. And deliver and process the prescription, basically the answer to their problem. So what you're trying to identify is their problem and how you can help them solve that problem. Do you have something to help them solve that problem? Either a kind word or a hug, or you have a product that can solve their problem. Whatever it is, then after you start to evaluate and process the data that you gathered by listening to their conversation, then you're going to determine whether or not what you have can help that person. And you're going to eliminate doubt. Just don't doubt yourself, because that negates your confidence. So eliminate doubt, and then empathize. Don't sympathize. So sometimes when you're talking to somebody and they have like lots and lots of problems, you want to empathize with them. Don't sympathize with them, because then you get caught up in the minutia, right? You're all sad and they're all sad. What good is that going to do them if both of you are now sad? So you have to have empathy for them. You understand their plight or understand what they're going through, but you still want to be to the point where you can get past that and offer them a solution. So in other words, you say, well, I understand what you're going through, but if you don't do something now, now you will be in the same position that you were before. Or if you don't change something, you're going to have this same problem later, or, whatever it is. I'm not telling you to be evil to people. That's not the thing. But you want to get them out of that funk, give them a logical thing that they can look at and say, you know what, you're right. Or, oh, I never considered that. Or, something like that, because it gives them options. It gives them something besides falling down in the mire and the muck of their problem. So just give them some options. I understand what you're going through, but here's something else for you to consider. Or if you don't do something now to change this, how is your life going to look next year? Is it going to be the same or whatever? Here are some options. So, and the last one is notice their body language. Notice their body language and their signs. People will give you a sign of, even in their voices, that if you're listening carefully, in their voice, people will give you signs of irritation. They will give you signs of stress, disbelief, light bulb moments, things like that. And so the sign, and sometimes even like if you're on a Zoom call and you can see people nodding their heads or shaking their heads or rolling their eyes or whatever, look for the signs. Look for those signs, but don't respond directly. You can address signs of disbelief or signs of irritation by what you say during your conversation. So they're finished talking. Now you're noticing their signs, and now you can offer solutions that negate those doubtful, irritation, stress, disbelief, all that kind of stuff. But if it's a light bulb moment, then you can kind of gear your conversation towards that. So, they get it now. I used to love that whenever I used to teach classes. When I was working my 9 to 5, I would teach people how to do their job. Basically, we'd have these courses, and the face-to-face classes were my favorite because it's a lot easier to read body language in a face-to-face situation, right? So I would see some students back there, basically scratching their head, not literally, but just, frowning or something like that. That's body language telling you they're confused. They don't know what you're talking about. And so I would walk to the middle of the room and say, oh, you have a question? Does anybody have a question? And I look right at the person. Now I would say, does anybody, so I'm not embarrassing them, but I would say, does anybody have a question? And they would look at me, and I would just look at them, and they would say, then they would speak up and ask the question that they had a problem with. So it's a lot easier to address somebody's issues if you notice their body language, because you don't want to leave somebody confused. A confused mind always says no. They always say no to everything. Hello, Techno. Okay, how you doing? Oh, you're in from YouTube. So, those are the tips for listening. So pay attention. That's the biggest thing that I could say. Pay attention when you are talking to somebody about anything. Pay attention to what they have to say, because you know the old saying, somebody everybody's favorite radio station is WIIFM. What's in it for me? That's it. No, it's not selfish. It's just people are interested in what is in it for them, not necessarily what's in it, what you have to say. They look at what you do, not what you say as well. So if you just be quiet for a minute, let them talk. Because if you ask them a question and you just rushing in asking the next question before they finish their answer, they're gonna feel like you're not interested in what they have to say, and you just ask a little general question just because. Okay, so listen. Make sure that you listen. And I listed those acronyms, and I didn't list the explanation in there because I just didn't. I figured you would get you can replay this video. Just make sure you like and share it out, and that way you can look at it again wherever you're listening from, whether you're listening from YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're listening from. Then just make sure you like and share this video. And I hope you got something out of that. It was a lesson reminder for me. And I hope that when you start to listen to your family, your friends and everything, put your phone down. That's a biggie. I didn't want to end this without saying that. Put your phone down, put all your electronics down. You're having a conversation. That phone is not part of the conversation. Know the old saying, it's an A and B conversation. See your way out of it. Let the phone see its way out of your conversation. You don't want your phone to be involved in your conversation, because whoever's calling you on the phone or whatever message you just got on the phone is not part of your conversation. Put it down. Have your conversation. Be present with that person that you're talking to. Okay. All right. So I do want to end this by inviting you to a business opportunity presentation this evening at 7 p.m. I will put the Zoom link in the Zoom ID rather. Matter of fact, I'm just going to post it on my stories, Facebook stories, on my Facebook page. Probably in the description of this video, not probably, in the description, I will amend the description to put the Zoom link in there, and you guys can come and hear all about the business opportunities, and you get to make a decision as to what you want to do. You're not obligated to do anything but listen. See how I put that in there? Just listen. And if there's something there that attracts you, great. If not, still great. I want to offer you access to our technology so that you can save some money, keep some more money in your pocket, and then you can do all that. All right. So I will talk to you guys later. But in the meantime, I wish you peace. I wish you love. And I love you guys so much. Thank you, Ruby, Tiffany, and Techno. I will talk to you guys later. Have a great one. Bye-bye.